Today, we're talking about improving camps in Red Dead Online. As of right now, camps serve some purpose, kinda, sorta. You can go change out your wardrobe, you can cook, you can also make some stuff like snake oil, health tonics if you have the right ingredients, and you can do a few other things to the camp, including change Crip's outfits. Why would you want to do that? I guess you got tons of money and you don't like what he's currently wearing. I could care less. But I do have a list of ideas that I would like to see implemented eventually regarding the camps that, in my opinion, would make them a lot more better as well as useful. First off, let's talk about the spawn location. As of right now, there isn't really a spawn location. You can pick which of the 5 states to spawn into if you wish, but most of the time it feels like the game wants you to spawn near other players, and usually that doesn't end so well. Now in Grand Theft Auto Online, we have the ability to spawn inside owned property. I would like for that to be the same thing in Red Dead Online. Every time we spawn into the game, we always spawn into our camp, or at least have the option to either A, spawn in our camp, or B, spawn in the last location. That way, whenever you're first spawning in the game, you know that you're not going to get automatically jumped by a griefing posse. Wouldn't that be nice? The next improvement I want added to camps is technically twofold. You could theoretically combine this into one character, but just for the sake of the video, we'll separate it. First off, the camp butcher. Yes, we obviously have a few butchers scattered throughout the map. We could use more. Like there's one in Tumbleweed, Blackwater, Strawberry, Valentine, Rhodes, Saint Denis. But the more butchers, the better. What if we had the ability to add or quote-unquote hire a butcher at our camp? So instead of risking it all going through Tumbleweed or another one of these towns where other players happen to be and they're murdering people left and right throughout the town, not really distinguishing between NPCs and innocent players, just trying to sell everything that they've been hunting and killing and collecting, like pelts, carcasses, meat that they wish to sell, fish. Wouldn't it be awesome if we could just simply go to the safety of our camp and sell all that to our butcher? And at the same time, obviously, there would probably be a daily fee for the butcher. You'd have to probably, first and foremost, hire the butcher. But, in my opinion, a very good investment having our very own camp butcher. Now, what else I would like is the camp cook. Now, technically, you could combine the camp butcher and the camp cook into one person, similar to Pearson in Red Dead Redemption 2, but technically he doesn't work the same way as the butcher. You can donate materials to Pearson, but you can't get money back from Pearson. Anything you donate either A, went towards camp improvements or satchel improvements, or went straight into the camp coffers. But for the camp cook, the reason why I separate the camp cook from the camp butcher is because specifically the camp cook would cook your meat. Now I realize we have the ability to sit in front of the fire and cook one piece of meat at a time. Gets kind of old, especially if you have a lot of meat to cook. What if you could take your meat, your venison, your prime rib, your bird meat, all that, and just hand it over to your camp cook and come back in a little while and they have it available for you to pick up from the camp cook. Perhaps hand over some herbs as well so that they can do various upgrades to that meat. Whether it's upgrades to the health, stam, deadeye, similar to what you can already do at the campfire, but at the same time, the camp cook just takes care of all of it for you without the inconvenience of you having to do it yourself. And the camp cook can also store this meat, and maybe up to, say, 99 pieces of meat, of cooked meat, whether it's venison, bird, etc. And then you just grab whatever you need off of them. If you need 10 pieces of prime rib or venison, etc., you go to the camp cook and you grab it. It's already cooked, it's good to go. The different types, whatever you need for like a health boost, for stam boost, deadeye boost, just grab what you need from the cook, and he takes care of that. Furthermore, what if the camp cook would also have the option to make salted meat? That way, you could automatically get the salted meat out of the item wheel as opposed to grabbing meat out of the satchel, because that's how the meat works. Whenever you have cooked meat, it doesn't go into the item wheel for whatever rhyme or reason, which is faster for you to consume, especially in a firefight, whether it's a mission, a gang hideout, or against other players. You have to go to the satchel. But with salted meat, it's already in the item wheel, and it would be awesome if that was one of the options you had when it came to the camp cook. Now, similar to the camp butcher, you would have to hire them. You would have to probably pay them a daily fee. And like I mentioned, there's nothing stopping this from being one and the same. The camp cook and butcher could be the same person. It might just make it a little bit more simplistic if Rockstar did that. The next improvement to the camp is the ability to select which horse you want from the stable. Now, once again, this is something we can do as an upgrade in Red Dead Redemption 2 at the Vanderland camp. It's one of the upgrades. You have the ability to go to the post and pick out one of your horses instead of traveling all the way to a stable to pick up this horse or that horse. If you have more than one horse, or if you lost your horse, instead of having to go all the way to a stable, you just go to the post and it automatically recalls your horse back to camp. So wham bam, instead of grabbing the nag, you can just get your horse back. Or you can select between your horses and say, okay, this time I want this horse because this horse is my war horse, or this horse is my Arabian, my Turkmen, or my Foxtrot, or my Shire. The ability to pick and choose between which of the 5 horses you have, if you have up to 5 horses from the stable, would be very convenient indeed, and would be another improvement to your camp. The next improvement I would like to see is a weapons locker. Now, they added weapons lockers to Grand Theft Auto Online. Why not give us a weapons locker in Red Dead Online as well? Because the same problem arises. The further along the game goes, with the more updates, they'll add more weapons, but the downside is you can't sell weapons in Red Dead Online, just like you can't sell weapons in Grand Theft Auto Online. To answer that problem, Rockstar introduced the weapons locker, which allowed us the ability to hide weapons. And I would very much like the ability to purchase and have a weapons locker at my camp in Red Dead Online. Because our starter weapons, eventually you kind of phase those out. The Cattleman revolver along with the carbine repeater. You eventually get either a volcanic pistol or the double action revolver or the Schofield or a Mauser or an automatic pistol or, you know, the Lancaster, the Litchfield repeater. Upgrades to your starter weapons, but yet they're still in the weapons wheel. It would be nice if we could put those away in the weapons locker, never to be used again, or any other weapon that you no longer wish to have in the weapons wheel. The next improvement to the camp is minigames, and this is something a lot of us really want in Red Dead Online, and it's also available in Red Dead Redemption 2. By the way, we had minigames in Red Dead Redemption multiplayer, so chances are we're probably eventually getting these minigames sooner rather than later, hopefully. But the best place to put them might actually be at our camp, because our camp is currently the only real safe space in the game. If you go to the bars, where you traditionally see a poker table or a blackjack table, depending on the bar, it's still not necessarily a safe place. You could theoretically be playing poker at the bar in Valentine, and some griefer just happens to come by and kill you and everybody that plays poker. Now, hopefully that won't happen. We can only hope, right? But maybe the solution is as simple as giving us a mini game table at our own camp. Now, you would have to purchase each mini game, and you would have to, I guess, when you get to the table, select which mini game you want. Say this time you want to sit around with a few friends and play a round of poker, or several rounds of poker, blackjack, dominoes, 5 fingers, perhaps even bring us Liar's Dice from Red Dead Redemption 1. That is a very highly requested minigame that is currently not in Red Dead Redemption 2. At the very least, you could let us play Liar's Dice in Red Dead Online. And who knows, maybe eventually they could add horseshoes to the camp. Now, I realize you don't play horseshoes at the minigame table but it still would be kind of cool if we had the ability to play horseshoes with friends. And all these would earn you XP along with in-game money, and you would be able to gamble your own money. Not the goal, because there's legal rules that would prevent that from happening, but at least in-game cash that you have earned from doing missions, hunting, fishing, the Showdown series, Gun Rush, racing, etc., to be spent on these minigame upgrades, as well as partaking in some poker, blackjack, dominoes, five fingers, and perhaps even liar's dice as well. The final improvement to the camp is crypts. Please stop moving our camps. Now, I realize whenever you jump into the game, technically the camp is where it was last time. Like, for example, if you were down in Lemoyne and that's where you were last before you exited the game for the night, chances are you're going to see your camp there. Even if you spawn in the Great Plains or up in Amberino or down in New Austin. But whenever I move my camp to Gaptooth or to Rio Bravo or somewhere else, I expect my camp to stay there until I, not Crips, decides when to move my camp. And going on nearly 2 months now in Red Dead Online beta, quote unquote, we still have this issue. And a lot of times I will tell Crips I want to move my camp. And does he move my camp where I want him to? No, I'll be down in New Austin. I want my camp down here in Rio Bravo, or Chola, or over there in Gaptooth. And Crips is like, nah, it's okay. I'm just going to move it over there in the swamp by Saint Denis. But I'm not in Saint Denis right now, Crips. So Rockstar, please, in all seriousness, fix the camp moving issue. If we move the camp, we should have precedent. I don't know why it happens. Is it because whenever someone else spawns in the game and happens to have a camp exactly where our camp is, it like pushes our camp out of the way? It should be just the opposite. If our camp is already there first, then it's their camp that should have to be moved somewhere else if they're joining the server, not the other way around. So I would appreciate it, Rockstar, if you would actually, come up with a way for us to, keep our camp exactly where we want it, or at least in the same area. If we're in New Austin, it should remain in New Austin, or perhaps instead of it going on the other side of the world in Red Dead Online, always make sure that the camp is nearby in the same state as we are whenever we happen to spawn in. And there you go. All the upgrades, I think, would greatly improve the camps, including Crips no longer moving them, weapons locker, a mini game table, along with the ability to select what horse we want at like a horse post. I know that you can hitch your horse, but I'm talking about the horse post in Red Dead Redemption 2 at the Vanderlyn camp that you can eventually get. The ability to actually spawn directly into your camp, a camp cook and or a camp butcher. That would be very nice. And it could be the same person that does all of the above. If you have any additional suggestions you would like to see that could improve the camp, or another topic revolved around Red Dead Online you would like to see me do an improving video on, feel free and leave your suggestions below in the comment section.